Michael Todd Chrisley. To many, the name instantly brings up images of wealth, sarcasm, perfectly manicured Southern charm, and flashy designer outfits. His voice, his wit, and his over-the-top lifestyle became a staple on American television for years. He seemed to have it all: money, a close-knit family, reality TV fame, and a mansion filled with everything most people only dream about. But behind the glitz and glamour was a much more complicated story. A story filled with ambition, struggle, rise, and eventually a very public fall. Todd's journey is a modern American tale, a man who built an empire, sold the dream, and then saw it crumble beneath him under the weight of fraud, tax evasion, and federal charges. But like any dramatic story, it didn't begin that way. To truly understand the complex tapestry of Todd Chrisley's life, one must first unravel the threads of his upbringing. Michael Todd Chrisley, born on April 6, 1969, emerged from the humble beginnings of Georgia, eventually settling into the quiet, unassuming town of Westminster, South Carolina. This was not the gilded cage of a privileged childhood, but rather a solid, working-class foundation rooted in traditional Southern values. His father, Gene Raymond Chrisley, a respected Army veteran, instilled in him a sense of discipline and perhaps a quiet determination. His mother, Fay Chrisley, a woman of formidable Southern strength and later a beloved figure on reality television, provided the warmth and unwavering support characteristic of many Southern matriarchs. Growing up, the Chrisley household was modest, far from the opulent estates that would later define Todd's public persona. Financial struggles were likely a quiet backdrop, shaping a young Todd's understanding of scarcity and igniting a fierce desire for something more. Even as a boy, however, a unique spark was evident. Those around him recognized an innate sharpness, a nascent confidence that belied his age, and an undeniable hunger for ambition. He wasn't content with the predictable trajectory of a small-town life. He harbored dreams that stretched far beyond the horizons of Westminster, dreams of prosperity, influence, and perhaps even a touch of grandiosity. This yearning for a life unburdened by financial constraints, for a life that shimmered with possibility, would become a driving force, propelling him into the competitive arena of real estate. Todd's educational background, while not extensively publicized, likely provided him with a foundational understanding of business principles, or at the very least, solidified his natural aptitude for negotiation and deal-making. He understood the nuances of persuasion, the art of the deal, and the importance of presenting an image of success, even when it might not entirely reflect the underlying reality. This early grasp of the psychological aspects of business would prove instrumental in his future endeavors, allowing him to cultivate relationships and close deals that many others might have found challenging. The values instilled in him during his upbringing, hard work, family loyalty, and a strong sense of pride, would remain with him, though sometimes twisted or overshadowed by his ambition. Todd Chrisley's foray into the real estate world in his 20s marked the initial ascent of his ambitious journey. He didn't begin with grand developments. Instead, he embraced the accessible, if risky, practice of flipping homes. This involved identifying undervalued properties, investing in renovations, and then selling them for a profit. Each successful flip was not just a financial gain, but a reinforcement of his burgeoning belief in his own capabilities. He honed his skills in identifying potential, navigating market fluctuations, and, crucially, in the art of persuasion. Colleagues and clients alike often remarked on his ability to sell ice to an Eskimo, a testament to his charismatic charm and keen understanding of human psychology. This natural flair for sales, coupled with an unwavering confidence, allowed him to climb the ladder swiftly in the cutthroat real estate industry. He was a natural networker, building connections that would later prove invaluable, not only in business, but also in navigating the complex world of celebrity. The early 2000s saw the formalization of his ambition with the launch of Chrisley Asset Management. This company, according to Todd, was positioned as a beacon of financial and real estate guidance, managing millions of dollars in assets. He carefully crafted an image of a self-made millionaire, a testament to the American dream realized through sheer grit and business acumen. This period was characterized by a meticulous curation of his public image. It wasn't enough to simply possess wealth. He needed to be seen as wealthy. This manifested in a deliberate embrace of luxury, gleaming cars, impeccably tailored designer suits, and, eventually, the acquisition of sprawling properties. His monumental 30,000 square foot mansion in Atlanta became more than just a home. It was a physical embodiment of his success, a tangible declaration to the world that Todd Chrisley had arrived. The sheer scale of his purported success was intended to be aspirational, a testament to what hard work and shrewd business could achieve. However, the edifice of this self-made empire was, as the adage goes, not entirely gold. Beneath the shimmering surface, the foundations were beginning to crack. Todd's extravagant lifestyle, while impressive, was not solely sustained by a robust, consistent income. Instead, a significant portion was funded through a delicate balance of debt and borrowed money. The financial strategies that had fueled his rapid ascent were, in reality, a house of cards, teetering precariously on the brink of collapse. The elaborate spending, the relentless pursuit of luxury, and the grand displays of opulence were not sustainable in the long term, and the inevitable caught up with him quickly. The once bright promise of financial prowess began to dim, replaced by the chilling shadow of a spiraling debt. The pressure to maintain the illusion of immense wealth, particularly in the competitive social circles he now inhabited, likely fueled a cycle of increasing debt and risk-taking, pushing him further into precarious financial territory. The aspiration to project an image of invincibility became a fragile vulnerability. In 2012, Todd Chrisley's image of wealth crumbled when he filed for Chapter 7 bankruptcy. The filing revealed shocking financial realities. Just $100 in cash, $55 in his account, and $49 million in debt, mainly from failed real estate deals, lawsuits, and loans. This revelation clashed sharply with his luxurious public persona, raising questions about how he maintained such a lavish lifestyle amid financial collapse. The contrast between his bankruptcy and continued display of wealth sparked intense public scrutiny and suspicion. Yet rather than fading into obscurity, Todd's notoriety grew, setting the stage for his entry into reality TV. The bankruptcy records later became crucial evidence in the federal case against him, pointing to potential financial misrepresentation. Despite financial ruin, 2014 marked a surprising career turn, the launch of Chrisley Knows Best. The show featured Todd, wife Julie, their children, and his mother, offering a humorous look at family life. Todd's outspoken, stylish, and overprotective personality made the show a hit. Audiences were drawn to his sharp wit, strong family bonds, and Southern charm. His interactions with teens Chase and Savannah became fan favorites, full of relatable chaos and heartfelt moments. The success led to spin-offs like Growing Up Chrisley, boosting the family's fame. Todd's transformation from struggling businessman to reality star was meteoric, but the fame also invited deeper scrutiny. Questions about his bankruptcy and the authenticity of their lifestyle never fully disappeared and would later contribute to their dramatic downfall. Fame brought the Chrisleys both success and scrutiny. As Chrisley Knows Best gained popularity and their lavish lifestyle continued, questions arose about Todd Chrisley's finances, especially given his past bankruptcy. The contrast between his supposed financial ruin and the family's opulent spending sparked suspicion among media and federal investigators. The family's visible wealth, despite no clear income source, raised concerns. Critics asked whether the show masked financial deception. Investigators uncovered financial documents suggesting a tangled web of transactions, hinting at potential fraud. Ironically, their public visibility only highlighted these inconsistencies, leading to deeper investigation. In 2019, those suspicions came to a head when the U.S. Attorney's Office in Georgia indicted Todd and Julie Chrisley on charges including tax evasion, wire fraud, and conspiracy. The indictment accused them of falsifying documents to secure millions in bank loans and hiding income from the IRS. Prosecutors alleged the couple used the loans to fund their extravagant lifestyle, inflating assets and laundering funds through various accounts. Even after earning millions from their show, they reportedly failed to pay taxes. Todd responded defiantly, claiming the charges stemmed from a disgruntled ex-employee's vendetta. Both he and Julie maintained their innocence, vowing to fight in court. Public opinion split. Supporters believed in a setup, while others saw it as the inevitable exposure of a fraudulent lifestyle. The stage was set for a dramatic courtroom battle that would determine the Chrisleys' future. The Chrisleys' legal saga dragged on for years, marked by uncertainty and intense public interest. Despite serious fraud charges, Todd and Julie continued filming Chrisley Knows Best, making red carpet appearances and promoting family values online. Their defiant normalcy, even under indictment, intrigued the public. Their defense argued the accusations stem from a vengeful former employee and ex-lover of Todd's, who fabricated evidence. In June 2022, after a highly publicized trial, a federal jury found both Todd and Julie guilty on all counts. Todd was sentenced to 12 years and Julie to 7, with prison terms beginning in January 2023. The judge cited the seriousness of their crimes and the millions involved. The fallout was swift. Chrisley Knows Best and its spin-off were canceled, endorsements vanished, and the family was left reeling. Their teenage son, Grayson, and young granddaughter, Chloe, lost daily contact with their primary caregivers. Savannah, then in her mid-20s, assumed a parental role, managing household responsibilities and the public spotlight while dealing with her own grief. The once glamorous Chrisley image collapsed, replaced by a family grappling with the harsh consequences of federal conviction. In January 2023, Todd and Julie Chrisley began their prison sentences. Todd at a minimum security camp in Pensacola, Florida, and Julie at a federal medical center in Kentucky. The distance between them made visits nearly impossible, but the Chrisley family worked to stay connected through calls and limited visits. Savannah Chrisley quickly became the family's public spokesperson, sharing updates and rallying support. Savannah described Todd as resilient, spending time reading, praying, and adjusting to prison life, though she noted his significant weight loss and graying hair. Rumors suggest he may be writing a book to share his side of the story. Meanwhile, Savannah took on the role of caretaker and advocate, using her podcast Unlocked to give emotional updates and argue for her parents' innocence. She has been vocal about alleged legal missteps in their case and remains committed to appealing their convictions. The ordeal has taken a deep emotional toll on Savannah, forcing her to mature quickly while navigating intense public scrutiny. Balancing her advocacy with personal grief, she has emerged as a central figure in the Chrisley family's ongoing fight, gaining followers and drawing attention to their story. Todd Chrisley's journey, from modest beginnings to reality TV fame and ultimately federal prison, is more than a tale of financial fraud. It's a modern parable about the seductive lure of the American dream and the perils of constructing a public image that masks private struggles. His rise, driven by charisma and a sharp sense of branding, saw him project the persona of a wealthy and fallible patriarch. But behind the polished facade was a flawed man grappling with personal and familial complexities, whose pursuit of perfection led to legal ruin. Chrisley's carefully curated life of luxury unraveled quickly. His rapid ascent was matched by an even swifter fall, from opulent homes to prison, from TV screens to courtrooms. Whether seen as a guilty fraudster or a victim of prosecutorial overreach, his story remains unfinished. Even during his incarceration, speculation of a comeback persisted, buoyed by loyal fans and his children's efforts to revive the Chrisley name. Todd, ever drawn to the spotlight, has always hinted at a return, perhaps with hopes of reshaping his legacy. In a shocking turn of events, former reality TV star Todd Chrisley was granted a presidential pardon by Donald J. Trump on May 24, 2025. The pardon, part of a broader clemency announcement, cited Chrisley's nonviolent offenses, good prison behavior, and what was described as a gross misuse of prosecutorial discretion. His release instantly reignited fierce national debate over the use of presidential pardons. Praised by supporters as justice served, but slammed by critics as an example of celebrity privilege, the Chrisley family reacted with overwhelming emotion and joy. Savannah Chrisley, Todd's daughter, had led a relentless public campaign for her parents' release, arguing their sentences were unjustly harsh and the trial flawed. Her advocacy kept the case in the media spotlight and played a key role in influencing public opinion. Upon Todd's release from the Pensacola Federal Prison, she declared, "God showed up," capturing the family's sense of spiritual and emotional relief. However, the family's celebration was bittersweet. Julie Chrisley, Todd's wife, remains incarcerated. Her legal team has filed for compassionate release, citing health concerns and similar claims of prosecutorial overreach. The family continues to campaign for her freedom, vowing not to stop until she, too, is pardoned. The public response was intensely divided. Loyal fans flooded social media with congratulatory messages and hope for a fresh start, while critics pointed to the serious nature of Todd's crimes: bank fraud, tax evasion, and falsification of financial documents. Many saw the pardon as another instance of the rich and famous escaping full accountability, further fueling conversations about inequality in the justice system. Todd responded to the backlash with a public statement acknowledging his mistakes. "I made mistakes. I accept responsibility. This is not the end, it's a second chance." His message struck a tone of humility and redemption, laying the groundwork for a return to public life. Indeed, speculation about Todd's next moves is rampant. Talk of a reboot of Chrisley Knows Best or a new docuseries about his prison experience has already begun. Savannah hinted on her podcast that a new project is absolutely in the works. A memoir is also rumored, potentially featuring prison journal excerpts and insights into his journey through fame, failure, and forgiveness. Since his release, Todd has been seen attending church, spending time with his children, and volunteering at a nonprofit helping former inmates reintegrate. Whether these actions are genuine signs of growth or part of a rebranding strategy is unclear. What is certain, however, is that Todd Chrisley does not intend to disappear quietly. His story, marked by wealth, scandal, and now redemption, will continue to captivate and polarize the public for the foreseeable future. What can be learned from the complex saga of Todd Chrisley? His life story is a potent reminder of the high price of fame and the dangers of living beyond one's means. Chrisley's journey from reality TV stardom to financial scandal in prison serves as both a cautionary tale and a potential narrative of redemption still unfolding. At its core, Chrisley's story highlights the double-edged nature of fame. It can elevate a person to celebrity status while exposing every flaw to public judgment. Todd, known for his wit and polished image, created a persona that masked financial instability and legal troubles. His fall from grace, marked by convictions for bank fraud and tax evasion, reveals the cost of projecting a curated lifestyle that didn't match reality. His saga also invites scrutiny of the American justice system. Some critics argue that high-profile cases like Chrisley's receive disproportionate attention, while others question whether privilege helped delay his reckoning. It raises uncomfortable but important questions about fairness and accountability. Moreover, his rise and fall underscore the manufactured nature of public image in the digital age. Reality television blurred the lines between authenticity and performance, making it easy for viewers to confuse entertainment with truth. Chrisley Knows Best presented a wealthy, happy family, but behind the scenes was a tangled web of debt, deception, and legal troubles. And yet, Chrisley's story isn't finished. After spending time behind bars, Todd is now a free man, publicly advocating for the release of his wife, Julie, who remains incarcerated. His reunion with his children, particularly daughter Savannah, who has taken on a more public role through her podcast, has rekindled public interest in the family saga. The Chrisleys continue to maintain a devoted fan base and remain present in media discourse, whether through interviews, social media, or tabloid headlines. What makes this narrative even more compelling is the question of redemption. Can a man so publicly disgraced find a path to rebuild his legacy? Redemption in reality is rarely neat. It's messy, slow, and often met with skepticism. But Todd Chrisley has never been one to stay silent. He's always insisted on having the last word, and there's little doubt he'll continue shaping his story, possibly through new ventures or advocacy work. For now, his legacy remains in flux, a work in progress closely followed by a public fascinated by tales of rise, fall, and possible renewal. Whether he is remembered as a cautionary figure, consumed by ambition, or as someone who found meaning and humility in the aftermath of disgrace will depend on what comes next. Ultimately, the Chrisley story reflects broader cultural themes: our obsession with fame, the fragility of image, and the enduring pull of family. It reminds us that behind every glamorous public persona may lie a very different private truth, and that even in the face of ruin, the path to redemption remains possible. In that way, Todd Chrisley's life isn't just a personal journey. It's a mirror held up to a society captivated by success and scandal, and perhaps one still searching for deeper values like integrity, resilience, and grace.